Hey guys, it's Mr. 25 back at it again. This time with a new season preview for fall 2021. Since the season has already started, this is more of a quick rundown than anything else. I hope I'm not too late for the party. Making a glorious return with yours truly is our old pal Mushoku Tensei. I missed this show quite a lot to be honest, and can't wait to see more of my favorite character Roxy. Wait, no. Unfortunately, with a faithful adaptation, it'll be maybe 2050 before she's back for real. So for our fellow Roxy enjoyers, we can hang out in the loner corner together. To dull the Roxy withdrawal, we have the choice of 300 USD figures on the left, and Water Mage, also voiced by Konami Kohara from a certain game, on the right. Oh, you like Selfie? Not sure if there are any figures for you, but we can all chill in the corner together. Don't worry, your time is coming soon. Now for the 12 people that actually likes Aries, congratulations! Why do you guys like this gorilla brat is beyond me, but I don't have the right to judge. Now if you're looking for another reddish haired little brat, and can't wait to have another one, 86 is back again. If you watched episode 1 then you've already met Frederica. She's here for the long haul, so you might as well get used to it. Although 86 will commit the sacrilegious act of replacing a silver hair maiden as the main girl with some random little kid, credit to the directors, and they won pictures. Show looks great as usual visually, and that excellence I expect to continue. More importantly, I cannot praise their pacing decisions enough. They have a lot of great things to work with, a great premise and some good world building, but Volume 1 has the best story in the series by far in my opinion. And the production fleshed out the characters in the story, stretched it out across the first core into 12 episodes, which is a great decision. Second core will have 12 episodes as well, which should take us to the end of Arc 2 at Volume 3. Although I think the story after Arc 1 is not as good, the ending of the arc will be well worth it. Is it stupid that they have to fight because they don't know anything else? Yes. But it's not a spoiler that they're gonna fight because it's pretty obvious. Remember her? This is her now. We're really pushing the boundaries of isekai limits with the fruit of evolution. When I say I wouldn't mind a gorilla, I mean the blonde girl, not Harambe. For the real weebs out there, if you're fat, bullied, and a loner, and can see the main character in the monitor even after you turn it off, this is the self-insert anime for you. Thankfully, unlike SL World, the author knows exactly what we want. He freshens up our American poster boy with a brand new makeover as soon as possible. Honestly, this is a smartphone tier of dumb, which means it is completely stupid. And I will probably be watching it religiously, because sometimes being bad is better than being mediocre. It's also harem, so I eat that shit up. Saihate no Paden is about as safe as you can get in an isekai. Here we got the grown-up version of the useless nun from Fire Force, some combination of Viego from League of Legends and Merlin, as well as Ainz trying out some Rockstar DLC skin. Most other fantasy and isekai animes have some gimmicks with superpowers and turn into slimes and whatnot, but this anime has one of the rarest gimmicks, rolled an SSR in terms of uniqueness. The characters aren't retarded. Yep, you heard that right. The characters are rational, make real decisions that make sense like real people. The story doesn't randomly explode, which is pretty hard to do in this genre to be honest. In fact, this is so hard to do in this genre that the author is completely out of ideas, going on hiatus after he finished Volume 4. Really goes to show how hard it is to have some common sense. Imagine going mentally boom after writing a good story. As an aside, the studio in charge of the anime happens to be also doing the Fruit of Evolution, which is the total opposite of this show. So they got the whole spectrum covered. There's something for you to watch depending on how many brain cells you got active. The early anime of the season award goes to Shuumatsu no Harem. TLDR, disease wipes out male, main character must save the world, he must reproduce with females. Harem setups have gotten so lazy that 15-minute porn videos have better stories now. Respects to the authors though, man knows what the people want, and we can cut the bullshit and get right down to our business after we lock the door and put on headphones. You know something's gonna be nice when there's an uncensored version of the show. Why complain about the plot and characters when all that matters is animation quality? Everyone knows what they're watching the show for. Just check and see if you like the character designs and ignore anything else. Wait a minute. Alright, never mind guys, pack it up, put your pants back on, show's delayed till next season. In the meantime, we can go back to rewatching Redo of Healer. Taisho Tomeo Togi Banashi is a lovey-dovey historical romance anime set in the early 1900s. For me, watching these animes is like doing drugs. The fleeting euphoria of watching cute couples will quickly turn to depression as soon as I face my unfortunate reality when the show is over. It must be nice to be born rich into a nice family. Even when you get disowned, your dad will still buy you a wife. You know what else is wild? Inflation. Going rate for wives was only 100 USD back then. Do you want to know how much a nice body pillow costs? It's like 150 plus shipping. My Amelia figure cost 3 wives, and figures can't clean or cook. Anyhow, this show is great for any lonely souls out there who wants to warm their cold heart. Another historical anime is Henkei Monogatari. Don't get baited by the cover art like I did though, because I still haven't seen any silver-haired girls in the show. You know who isn't worried about getting a girlfriend though? This emo gloomy dude in Platinum Man, brought to you by the author of Death Note. This time, instead of becoming the god of the new world, this dude is actually trying to become a literal god. Unfortunately, the author haven't gotten caught up on the newest trends. So these slightly edgy, slightly depressed main characters randomly getting power-ups to fight in battle royales might be cool in the mid-2000s. Over a decade later, we've seen this setup 1,000 times. These cookie cutter characters, seen it before. No bonus points for becoming a god or king or whatnot. Imagine getting the power to make anyone fall in love with you and do your bidding and still be like, nah, I don't know about finding happiness. Stop bullshitting, man. It's like when people tell you money can't buy happiness. Well, the people that say that are either liars or rich. This show won't be awful, but I probably wouldn't go into it expecting too much. Pride of Orange is a perfect demonstration of Japan's one-size-fits-all solution for generating interest in animes and games. Make it about idols. Giant mecha fights? Make them idols. Zombies? Make them idols. Horse racing? Fuck it, make them idols. But make sure no Rule 34 is allowed. So, what do we have here? Oh, we got hockey? What's hockey? Doesn't matter. Make the girl idols. It'll probably work. And here we are today. Unlike other shows, this one does make me irrationally angry. I've tried my best to not take issues with sports animes for many years. Yaoi undertones? Whatever. Tennis causing typhoons? I'll allow it. High school boys with 3-point range that puts Stephen Curry to shame? Fine, just don't embarrass him too much. The Pride of Orange is where I gotta draw the line. You're telling me that the Japanese women's hockey team can beat Team Canada? That I find completely unacceptable. I will not tolerate this slander. With that, I will see you guys next Wednesday for the new episode. But if you don't want this half-ass idol experience and want the full package, there's Selection Project, where 2 episodes in, nothing of interest has happened at all. Minor spoilers, our cute clumsy MC makes a teeny tiny mistake of just falling down for no reason and stops singing in the middle of a live TV program for God knows how long. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because the girl with the most votes just decides to drop out for no reason. Alright, maybe the reason is because Onishi Saori, who voices the girl in question, might be a little bit too expensive to hire for the full idol package. Frankly speaking, maybe it's a good thing in disguise, because I don't think she's really that great at singing. Still though, somehow, someway, despite missing half the entire chorus, enough retards out there still voted for our lovely MC, voiced by an affordable novice seiyuu, to place second. Good enough to get into the final selection. Are these people fried or... Anyway, if I have to see one more of those slow, gradual bonding process with this long, black-haired, cool beauty that involves some sort of a heart-to-heart experience one more time, I might have to end myself. If you enjoy, for some strange reason, music animes, but don't like idol shows, if you exist at all, there is Attack of Destiny, an original by Madhouse and Mappa. I've seen a lot of original non-idol music based animes, and without fail, they are all fucking terrible. Yes, I even watch Listeners, and no, I don't care if Madhouse is doing it. This genre is omega doomed. By the way, if you replace the arbitrary titles for terms like D2, music card, and conductor, you pretty much get the synopsis of Listeners. So yeah, that's my faith in this anime. Anyhow, if you're Asian, then at some point of your life, your parents probably made you play piano. And if you're like me, you probably prayed at one point or another, damn, I wish some meteors would just rain from the sky that carries aliens that bans music, and I wouldn't have to practice piano. Well, here you go, this is the anime that recreates your childhood fantasy. The main character is so cool that he loses his arm into a conducting baton for every fight. Well, who needs some dramatic event to lose their arm? Take note, Star Wars and Guilty Crown. Since Japan enacted a legislation that every anime season have to have at least a couple of trashy isekais, preferably with long ass names, there is the world's finest assassins gets reincarnated into another world as an aristocrat. First, don't expect anything from this anime. It's about as generic as it gets. Edgy MC that gets betrayed? Yep, pretty original. Would you like a side of saving a slave girl to add to the harem? Alright, I guess that's not very fair. So how about a main character that wears a black cape, uses a magic based gun, and have white hair? Yeah, that's gotta be a first, right? Ooh. It also doesn't help that they added one of the dumbest anime original scenes in recent memory. After pulling a gun on his assistant for academic purposes, this young lady tried to pull the Uno reverse card and promptly gets destroyed in the stupidest fashion. I'm all for having smart-ass MCs, those are cool. But when the only way to make the MCs look smart is by turning everyone else into dumbasses, then you know there is a problem. Kimetsu no Yaiba is also back this season. This is the newest addition to my short list of answers to the question of, oh, you watch anime? What have you seen? Demon Slayer is so popular that I can talk about it with people that never watch anime and not appear weeb at all. Unfortunately, despite everyone and their mother having watched the movie, Ufotable decided to milk the series a bit more by adapting the train arc again for the anime, which means the new arc won't start until December. Aside from that, there really isn't much to complain about. Not really any point in me talking about the show when everyone is gonna watch it anyway. There are actually a couple of mecha anime this season. The first of which is Kyokai Senki, which is the mecha project by Sunrise. This is Sunrise's annual attempt at replicating the success of Code Geass except by using increasingly dumber main characters. Hashtag Free Japan. Honestly, stop occupying Japan. Find something new to do. Speaking of classics, Muv-Luv is back once again. Much like Uncle Ben in Spider-Man, this has gotta be like the 4th or 5th time I've seen betas take over Japan. RIP. Everyone should know the drill for visual novel adaptations now. Say it with me. Just read the VN. Supposedly it's one of the best visual novels out there, but I wouldn't know. I never played it. To be completely honest, I love visual novel animes because there's always going to be some hardcore fan just molding in discussions and typing up novels about this and that. After finding out the first episode is anime original, we already got riots out on the streets. Guys, we get it. You don't want shit crammed. But let's find a new slant. So what if this only covers the 3rd installment of the series? I'm just here for a good time. Giant robots smashing up aliens. My remaining 2 brain cells are going to be on standby when I watch Muv-Luv. Cutting out 70% of the dialogue is not going to affect my enjoyment. The bar is going to be pretty low here. If you think the visual novel is so much better, just don't watch the anime and torture yourself. They're never going to make a 50 episode full adaptation here. Besides, you guys watch this even when it's bad anyway. No, most people are not going to drop $70 and spend 70 hours going through the visual novel to understand some backstory or get the whole experience. I don't have the attention span. As long as the animation doesn't go to shit, I couldn't care less how well it's adapted. Sakugan is another mecha anime that's airing this season. Since it's hard to have giant robots normally, we'll have to push humans into living deep underground. Sounds familiar? Well, it's been like a decade, so if some concepts have to be recycled, so be it. It's way better than getting increasingly creative isekais, like, because I reincarnated as a succubus, I'll squeeze out milk. So far, I've been pretty impressed with the production and animations of the show. And when you get half a page worth of producers like we have here, there better be some serious dough invested into at least making something that's presentable. Just pray that it's not a case of too many cooks in the kitchen or too many girls in a harem. This anime is about the dungeon exploration of a father and daughter tandem, which is a combo we don't see too often. While it's hard to see where we go from here, The first episode was pretty solid, and I'll stick around and see what happens. Deep's Insanity looks like it could be Made in Abyss 2.0. Or it could be Gunjo no Magmel 2.0. And if you don't know what that is, that's probably a good thing. I don't have a lot of faith in this show since it's original and it's by Silverlink, but I do love the concept in general and I think it's pretty cool. The preview looks alright if you consider the fact you don't really see jack shit, so maybe that's not good. But hey, you can either watch Made in Abyss or this mystery show about diving into a giant hole in the ground. Could be anything, could even be Made in Abyss. I know some people are very excited for Blade Runner, but this looks so dangerously normie that I feel like I'm not qualified to say anything about it at all. Did I watch the original movie? No. Who do you think I am? But do I remember watching that short that came out a few years ago? Yes. But I don't remember anything from it, so who knows? The Vampire Dies in No Time is another stupid gag anime that you will only watch if you can't legally purchase melatonin to adjust your sleep schedule. For my friends that said Madhouse can do no wrong, and tacked off Destiny will be good, here's a Madhouse stinker for you. Speaking of vampire animes, visual prison is apparently a thing. I've already said my piece about original music animes, which this anime unfortunately happens to be. I can't imagine adding vampires gonna make it any better. Although I'm going to be practicing social distancing with this anime, maybe girls in Japan do go crazy over vampire male idol fusion things. I'm not the one to judge what makes money. You thought that was all the vampire animes there are? Well, Twilight fans go nuts, cause there's another one. Yeah, Vanitas was cool and all, but maybe flooding the market with garbage isn't the right play here. Still though, Skito Laika to Nosferatu might have just had an unfortunate case of timing, because it's actually a pretty cool anime with an interesting concept. In an alternative universe, our lovely Soviet Russia counterpart faces a familiar issue in their Cold War. Sending a man to space is a bit risky, and hard to cover up if it goes boom boom. This time, we got the perfect solution. We can send a vampire instead since they aren't human. Yep, that's right. It's time for more virtual signaling again where we see demi-human discrimination. Sorry, but I watch Isekai, it's not new. Even without that, the anime is pretty interesting by itself, so I hope more people will give it a shot. Komi-san is another big name manga that got adapted to anime this year. In case anyone haven't heard about this series, it is a new Japanese learning tutorial that requires level 5 Japanese to understand. Since there is so much fucking text, I have to try to read without subs. Jesus Christ, my Japanese self-taught and garbage, okay? Jokes aside, this series is about Komi-san, who has crippling social anxiety but are still trying to make friends. Let's be honest here, at this point, who doesn't have social anxiety? The only difference is, you and I are not a cute girl. I'll be okay with getting lucky and helping out a cute girl too, since I'm not getting any matches on Tinder either. Koga Aoi, who voices Komi, is the biggest winner of this season alongside Kiro Akaru, who voices Nezuko. Apparently seiyus for main roles are paid on a per episode basis rather than by lines. So here what we have is actually two paycheck stealers that just show up and make some mumble jumble noises and go home with the bag. See, I can do that too. Where's my job offer? From the get-go, everyone only had one question. How will the anime look? And whether it will turn to another Voltron. Hype manga adaptation with piss poor production. People still ate it up though. And to be completely honest, I'm absolutely floored. The anime looks amazing, and not only properly delivered the source material but elevated the content. This is my opinion, the best looking anime this year, aside from maybe Demon Slayer. Everyone that's even remotely interested in the show should give it a try. Shino Nakama, with the rest of the name omitted because I don't want to spend 5 hours recording this section, is another crappy slice of life isekai joining the likes of Slime 300 and Drugstore Isekai. As a matter of fact, this is basically Drugstore 2.0 except there is actual romance. Having read the light novel before, what I'm really trying to say is, it's going to be super boring where nothing happens for 12 episodes. These types of stories are usually cool the first volume or two and then get so plain that it bores me to sleep. Shino Nakama is slightly better than the previous two. One, at least there's some action injected into the plot here and there, so there are some levels of excitement. Two, for the most part, the characters are normal human beings and aren't super over the top or obviously lacking folds in their brains. I feel like I'm repeating this a lot these days, but common sense is hard to find in isekais. If you're single like me, but likes to torture yourself with cutesy romance animes, also like me, this show is actually pretty solid. Just don't expect anything to ever happen. Mieruko-chan is a horror anime, if you can really call it that, about a girl pretending not to see paranormal terrors. Honestly, this show is just a big meme and a glorified gag anime that might be better off as a short. For me at least, horror and comedy just doesn't match very well together. It usually ends up being neither funny nor scary, which I feel like is the case for this anime. Overall, this show seems pretty bland and repetitive, but some people might like it. Blue Period is a drawing anime, which is something we don't see too often. There's a pretty good reason for that though. Art is pretty fucking boring as a topic, which is why Blue Period focuses more on the characters and the relationships rather than art itself. To its credit, the source of material does deserve its acclaim, although the characters don't seem too relatable, they're well thought out and feels very real. At the very least, I find Blue Period more interesting than pretty much all the isekais in the past few seasons. It's only been a couple of episodes, but we're already dealing with gender identity and discrimination, which if nothing else is more realistic than the 80th isekai that doesn't give their cute cat girl human rights. Kudos to the authors for having the balls to include this somewhat controversial topic. Before I move on, I would just like to say, screw you Netflix, all my homies hate Netflix. Their anime streaming schedule sucks, and never releasing in English until way later. Stop licensing anime please. At least release all the animes week by week like real human beings. Senpai ga Urusai is a work-based slice-of-life anime by Doga Kobo. To be completely honest, I don't really see the appeal of this show. I don't think it's particularly funny, nor feel the Japanese work culture very relatable, because it would really suck if I was working in Japan. If I want to get stressed out, I can just turn off my computer and try to deal with my IRL issues. For other similar animes, there's always at least something to watch for. Uzaki and Tejima Senpai has Big Booba, Nagatoro might awaken something in you, and Takagi-san appeals to people into big foreheads. What does this anime have? I don't judge if people are into buff loud dudes, but that's not me. Honestly, Ganbate Doki-chan is probably more interesting than this series. At least the girls are cute, and I only have to commit 5 minutes of my time. And now, since Shuumatsu no Harem is not here, the anime of the season can make your ears happy in 180 seconds. Yes, that's right, we have an actual ASMR anime now. There are actually some pretty prolific seiyus involved in this show, and my only issue with the show is that it's only 5 minutes. Come on man, most YouTube ASMR videos are longer than that. Still though, it might be time to buy some more $500 gold-plated cables for the full experience. I don't care that making your classmates record ASMR sounds absolutely ridiculous, she's doing God's work. To end things off, the mandatory mukbang show for fall 2021 is Isekai Shokudo Season 2. Yes, they're still milking Inuyasha, yes, Yuki Yuna is still not over, and I can't believe that out of everything out there, this is a show that got 3 seasons. Volt Trigger joins that list as well. Yes, we're still getting card games animes, I don't know how these ever make money, but Card Fight Vanguard is still going. It's listed as comedy, but the biggest joke is the anime itself. Build Dive looks cool, but don't waste your time. I watched the first episode because the opening song is by Egoist, but all the good things stop there. The game design is just not good. For all the shit I give Shadowverse, at least the game itself is sound. And the $3 million prize pool for World Grand Prix doesn't hurt either. Oh, I almost forgot, and I'd rather forget, Tesla noticed this season. Every season needs their X-Arm or handshakers or whatnot, but to avoid getting sued for eye cancer, I'm not even gonna bother show you anything from this show. Just trust me on this one, you don't want to know. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.